Hi, my name is Jess, and in this documentary I'll be talking about the relationship between social media and the pandemic. In this documentary I'll be talking to some people about their relationship with social media during lockdown. Social media has been taking over the world for decades. Millions of people around the world have used social media to connect with others every day. It was reported in 2017 that the average number of social media accounts made was 7.6 million, and that the number is constantly increasing every year, however none more so than 2020. Due to the current pandemic and lockdown, many people have used social media to communicate, learn and find news sources. Video calling apps such as Microsoft Teams, Skype and House Party have risen in popularity since March. However, this is necessarily a positive thing. In this documentary, I'll be discussing with people whether or not social media has had a positive or a negative impact on people during the pandemic, and if those who don't have social media have been impacted. Because of social distancing, schools have been shut worldwide, and all educational learning has been moved online. This has caused students to learn from home, which has caused more stress, since the students are not getting the correct amount of help they need in class, and family members who have no experience in teaching are suddenly expected to teach the entire syllabus to children. I have asked students, teachers and family members how online learning has affected their education. This is what they have to say about the matter. So, do you feel like your work has suffered due to online learning?
Well, I feel like it's definitely gone a bit behind, especially with lockdown. I feel like a lot of us students, we've had a bit of a wobble, especially not being out of college or out of school.
Do you feel like your child's progress has suffered due to lockdown?
Yeah, I feel like when they were at home, I think they didn't get as much experience as what they would have done if they were at school. And they also didn't have that sort of social interaction, because when they're at school they're only seeing the friends and they're getting all that social mixing, and when they were at home it was just like they were seeing us as their parents and then each other. So I think they did miss out on a lot of social experiences, but academically as well, I don't think subjects were taught as well as what they would have done if they were at school.
So do you think online learning has affected students academically?
Yeah, I think it's been inevitable that it has affected both students and staff as well, though, to be fair. I think it's affected everybody all around. It's been quite a challenging period of time. It's been obviously difficult for learners, because some learners don't always have access to the right resources and computers, and obviously challenging for teachers, because we're trying to kind of obviously facilitate for learners that do have technology, don't have technology. In terms of contact with tutors, that's has been quite challenging. Although we've been using online classes, Zoom, Teams and so on, it's not really the same as being in a class. So I think naturally it has had some impact on everybody, to be fair.
So do you feel like online learning is harder than regular learning?
To an extent, yes, because at home, when you're using online learning, you don't really have that support. All you really have is, in your household, you just have your mum or your dad to rely on or ask questions. But I feel like at college it's more open, and then you can discuss with people about the things.
Do you feel like because of lockdown, especially in the beginning, how schools are completely shut, do you feel like you were responsible for teaching a child?
Yeah, I do. I mean, school was setting work, the teachers were posting things online, they were sending work home, but I just feel like there was a real pressure on us as parents to deliver that work and teach that work. We didn't really have much contact with the school teachers. We just email things and they'd email things back to us, so there wasn't any like sort of face-to-face contact or anything. So you didn't know what you were teaching, how you were delivering it, whether you were doing it right or whether you're doing it wrong. So it did feel, it was quite stressful and it did feel quite pressured, especially because we were also working from home. So just trying to fit everything in the day was like really tough.
So is college able to lend equipment to
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that we've tried since the initial lockdown in March to do. I mean, students have been given art packs across art and graphics. We've done that again in September, where we've purchased quite a large amount of art packs and given to students from the year start to help with resourcing and so on. Also kind of did the same with media games, have access to kind of like pens, papers and pads and stuff for like just generic materials and so on. More technical, we've had like an ongoing laptop sourcing like program where students have kind of raised that they don't have a computer or software, that we have been trying to kind of meet that demand. But again, that's something that takes time, because obviously those need to be bought, they need to have the software installed and so on and so forth. And also students have been kind of like booking out bits of like cameras, memory cards, like Wacom tablets and so on. So we've kind of have tried to kind of facilitate every outcome, but obviously sometimes there is a bit of a delay in that.
So do you use social media?
I don't use social media, however I do use WhatsApp a lot, and I use it to talk to people and just, yeah, it really helps.
Do you use it to keep in touch with people?
Yeah, pretty much, just whether it's through Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp, I just keep in touch with all my friends and just see how they are. And yeah, it is different compared to college, but that's just the way we've got to do it.
Do you think your child has spent more time on social media if they have it?
Yeah, I think they have. I think because they were at home for all day, every day for about 3 months. I think when they're at school, they get that break off their tablets, their iPads, the games consoles. But because they were at home, it was so hard to just keep them motivated to do schoolwork for the full time they would have been at school. So they were having more time on these, like on their iPads and going on the games consoles, being on social media. So I think they did spend more time than they normally would.
Do you think that has had more of a negative or a positive impact?
I think a bit of both. I think a positive would be because it kept them busy. So because there was nothing else for them to do, it was just a good way of like just keeping them busy, especially like I said, because we were working from home, it was good because it was a distraction for them. A negative way I would say is that, yeah, they were just like, especially like straining their eyes, just being on it all the time, not much communication with us, with the siblings. But I think we had a control over it because we could monitor what they were doing. So because they were at home and they were doing it in front of us, we could actually see what they were going on, what websites they were looking at, what kind of things they were doing on social media. So it was easier to monitor it.
So do you think college was financially ready?
The college financially ready, I don't think anybody would have been ready for it. The college does have outstanding financial health in terms of what it kind of, how that works in terms of kind of like Ofsted and things like that. But I believe mainly the kind of like the funding from government and stuff has also helped. But would the college have been financially ready? I don't think any college would have been ready for something on that kind of scale. I think every college has needed some help from the government, to be fair. Though the college has been able to kind of fund all the purchasing of like laptops and software and stuff, it's off its own back from what I believe. Everything does kind of help.
Ever since the rise of the pandemic, there has also been a rise in the use of technology, more specifically social media. As somebody who uses social media, like many people, I've used it to communicate with other people during lockdown. The increase in social media use has gone from 7.6 in 2017 to 8.1 in 2020. However, it's a rapid increase in social media, a positive increase in society. While researching for this documentary, I gathered some questionnaires and asked people whether or not they believe social media is a good influence on people. The responses I received mentioned that social media is a useful way to communicate with people from long distances. However, many people also mentioned that social media can be dangerous, since you may not necessarily know who you're talking to. Also, there is the issue with anyone being able to look at your accounts. Many people do not make them private. Overall, social media has helped many people during the pandemic to communicate with others. It has also helped people to learn school online during lockdown. However, you need to be aware of the risks with working online and using social media, for example, hacking accounts or stranger danger.